What's up, guys? Overflow, free for all, knife only. I am going to give you all kinds of tips on how you could do well at Call of Duty, knife only, in a different video. I don't feel like talking about that right now. I'm so Call of Duty horrified that I don't want to make commentaries about Call of Duty right now. I want to talk about chicks that I wanted to bang that were in TV shows. I figured it'd be a good topic. I have plenty of gameplay set up, and so later on, don't worry. Later on, I'll talk about how you can stab people when you make them get knifed. Or I fucked up my own saying. Jesus. Anyways, so there is a new TV show coming out called Girl Meets World, and it's based. I don't know how it's going to work out, but basically, Corey and Topanga. I'm not even going to dignify them with their actual names, but the names on the show, Corey and Topanga, get skewered, are making a new show. They're teaming up and they're making Girl Meets World. And it got me thinking of how I wanted to fuck the emo out of Topanga when I watched that show as a kid. And I love that show. And there's a couple good shows that are currently going on. Breaking Bad, Boardwalk Empire, stuff like that. But like, as far as shows as when I was a kid, they were money, man. There were some great shows. I wanted to be MacGyver. Like when I was a kid, I watched every episode, every rerun of MacGyver on USA that I could fucking get. I VCR'd them. Anyways, but Topanga was always fine. Topanga was always fine. I also liked Six. Now Six, here's the thing about Six. This is how hot and how amazing Six's butt was. Six on the show Blossom. Whoa. Six had the most amazing sculptured piece of art ass undercarriage that you've ever seen in your life. And it was so amazing that even as a breast snob, as big of a breast snob as I am, I couldn't help but going, holy crap. That ass is amazing. And I always liked Six. I always thought her energy was fun and she'd be hella cool to bang. And then there were some other girls that I always thought were hot. Like I thought Kelly Kapowski was hot, but she was too plain Jane. I never really got what Kevin on the Wonder Years thought of Winnie. I always thought Winnie always had this look on her face like she's really cold or something. Like she was freezing. She's like, like that. I don't know. I never really dug Winnie. And I always wanted to kind of like, because I felt like I grew up with Kevin on the Wonder Years. And I kind of wanted to pull Kevin aside. I'd be like, bro, you could do better. Pawn Winnie off on Paul. That's how the show should have gone. Pawn Winnie off on Paul. Bam. But there is a girl that I'm a little sad by. Because it's really bad when you see a girl in your childhood who you thought was fine as hell. And then as she got older, you're like, oh my God, she's busted. And that girl is Nikki Cox. Now, Nikki Cox was on the show called Unhappily Ever After, which was a spinoff of, it's not a spinoff, it was kind of a blatant ripoff. They never quite said it, but it's like a blatant ripoff of Married with Children. And I never got to watch Married with Children as a kid. Like, I just was not allowed to watch it. Like, as soon as Love and Marriage, as soon as that shit, like, came on the TV speakers, my mom would run in and turn it off. She would not let me. And speaking of Married with Children, the mom, Peg, I always look at her as Peg. But Peg, I recently watched a couple episodes of Son of Anarchy. She can still get the D now, and she's like 58. That's crazy. But Peg always like looked like white trash. Like, I don't know. I just have this vision of banging her and then like chewing tobacco would come out of her titty or something. Like, I don't know. That's fucking weird. Anyways, Unhappily Ever After was an epic show. It actually had a lot of stars that ended up being in other shows. Like it had one of the kids on the show actually ended up being one of the kids from Malcolm in the Middle. I don't remember which one. And then they also had Kevin Conley, who was E on Entourage. So originally, when I watched Entourage, I was like, I don't know if I can get over the fact that one of the characters on the show was the dude from, Unhappily Ever After. But that show was so strong that it transcended the stereotypes or whatever. Not stereotypes, but it transcended the vision that I had in my head. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when you watch a certain show or you grow up on a show and then you see him, like, when I see Fred Savage, when I saw him in the movie, what is that movie called? In the Austin Powers Goldmember movie, and he played the mole. Even with the big fucking mole on his face, I still am like, dude, you're Kevin. You're Kevin, bro. I can't, my brain's not allowed to change that. But Unhappily Ever After had this girl named Nikki Cox, and she was a redhead, and I like all color hairs. And I really dig brunettes. I tend to date blondes because my mom's a blonde, and I really like redheads, but redheads are always kind of bitchy for some reason. I don't know why. But anyway, so she was hella fine. Kevin Conley was on there, and he transcended like all kinds of stuff like that. And then come to find out, and later on, there was a show called Las Vegas, which was like, I don't understand why I like that show. You know how sometimes you watch a show and you're like, I don't understand why I like the fucking show. You can't tell a reason, but I end up watching it. There was a show on HBO called Hung, and there's nothing redeeming about it. There's nothing good quality. I couldn't tell you anything about any episode. And I don't really care. I don't know what the storyline is, but if a new season comes on, I'm watching it. I don't know. I grew up on TV more than I grew up on video games. I really did. And I went from like NES to nothing for a long time to Dreamcast for like 6 months, and then I didn't have anything Dreamcast, and then I had like Xbox, and then I moved on to PS3, Xbox 360. So like there was lots of gaps in there, and I didn't really play a lot of video games as a child. I played more computer games. Like I was a Duke Nukem 3D, Phantasmagorium type of dude, Chips Challenge, Day of the Tentacle, stuff like. I know I'm going way back in the vault. But a show that I watched as a kid, and I don't even know how I got the show because we never had HBO or anything like that, but there's a show that will always resonate in my brain. Oh, also another girl that I wanted to bang was from, what is that show called? News Radio. News Radio was a pretty epic show, and the manager lady on News Radio, I wanted to bang her dirty pillows. Silly. Anyways, but a show that I always watch, and I recommend this if you ever get to see it, because it fits my personality perfectly. It's a show called Dream On. Now, what Dream On was about is, in the beginning credits of Dream On, there's a kid, and he's basically forced to watch TV as a kid. Like, they're like, we don't want to babysit you, so sit in front of the TV and watch it. And he watches all these old TV shows, and it actually imprints in him, into his soul, into his everyday being. And he's a daydreamer, kind of like I am. And so as he's going about his normal everyday shenanigans or everyday life, like he has thoughts, and his thoughts he expresses through quick little sound bites and quick little video clips from old TV shows that he used to watch. The show was epically amazing, and I found it interesting. It's kind of like Inception, because I actually found it interesting that I like that show, and I'm a natural daydreamer. You know what I mean? I'm a daydreamer. My mind is always kind of wandering, kind of I couldn't focus for shit. I probably have ADHD or whatever, but like, I thought it funny that I grew up with TV shows. And there's certain TV shows that are always going to be embedded in my brain. Saved by the Bell is always going to be implemented in my brain. You know what I mean? Not the new class. I'm talking about, and not even the college years. I'm talking about Saved by the Bell. Fuck the first season with the Miss Bliss bullshit, and when they had that one ugly chick. I'm talking about Saved by the Bell season 2 through like 7 or whatever, before they went to college and Screech became an asshole. So there you go. I kind of wanted to go down memory lane and kind of talk about different TV shows that are always going to be. I could be 9 years old and I'm like, Topanga. Sit down. There you go. That's a 30 and 7. Sorry I didn't say sit downs or super fast modes or anything like that, but I just kind of wanted to talk to you guys. And maybe if you're one of the younger viewers, check out some of the shows if you can find them. I want to be MacGyver. Peace and butt grease.